What is this place here? With all these beautiful colors, everything got a rainbow view. I see a pyramid with a sacred owl. Sacred owl, sacred owl. Oh, oh. Yeah. Speak the universe in me. Set me free. Ancestors speak to me. Now I can see it all. I'm embracing it all my pain and all my suffering. Hey. I can see it now. I can see it now. Hey, hey, my body, yeah. I'm transcending. I'm go. I'm transcending. I'm gone. Hey, get this word. What up, y'all? Hey, it's your boy Savage here for Savage Shaman Sessions. Hey, we about to vibe another session. We are definitely about to vibe. We are definitely about to vibe. Pure dopeness. Better believe. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Savage Shaman Sessions with your host, Kukiwa Bahlam, aka Savage Soliloquy, aka CBeezy. Yeah, we just vibing another day, man. I think today gonna be a good episode. I'm gonna try to run right through it. Try to stick and get this information to y'all. Today we kind of been having a little series about how to be useful, Sometimes we just don't think about it, One way you can be useful is by being a free thinker. And that's what today's episode is about. Being a free thinker. Guess we can start off with, what is a free thinker? Some people are probably like, hey, man, that's common sense, man. Just talking about. But it ain't as common and as, out there as you would think. Yeah, I'm still trying to invite a few people. We are in business. Okay, and we're talking about being a free thinker. Okay, so what is a free thinker? A free thinker is just, what it sounds like. Somebody who free with their thoughts. They're not constrained to any single philosophy. Like they're not only going with like the Christian faith. They may be using parts of the Christian faith, parts of Islam, parts of spirituality. To build their knowledge database. Free thinkers, man. Free thinkers are like the leaders of the world. There's a lot of people who got philosophies about it, even about that, about, how we got a lot of people who just consume, a lot of people just kind of here and there. And then you got a very small few that are free thinkers. You know, free thinkers usually get in trouble. It's usually in like most religious writings. If you go to the Christian writings, is Jesus Christ, you know, as the free thinker, you know, and everybody wanted to bash him and his followers because they weren't on the same thing as the majority. You know, they were enslaved by the Romans, basically, and where they were being occupied by the Romans, and you know they had to take on Roman ways, and these were a crew that wasn't with the Roman ways. You know, whether you believe the story or not, it's you know it's the principle of it that you know they gathered around a free thinker, you know, and this free thinker was God. You know, and many other faith systems, that's you know how you get to your godhood or your Christhood or you know your top level. You know, is by becoming a free thinker, by going eternal and you know being able to elevate your mind in so many words. So it seems simple, you know. I like if you go to most people, they're going to, you know, claim that they're a free thinker. You know, everybody wants to believe everyone, you know, but if you just look around you can tell most people aren't free thinkers. There are a lot of people that do the same things. There are a lot of crowds that do the exact same thing. There are a lot of copycats in our lives, you know. We have a lot of copycats in our lives. You can look at it with like music, um, just a lot of things in life, like movies, stuff like that. Just there's a lot of things that just people just copycat, and you know, it's actually become like more of the thing now, just to copycat. You know, that's just what people do. For one thing, it's easier sometimes. You know, it's easier initially to just like follow somebody else's path, but in the end, you kind of cheating yourself on some experience. You know, like you're definitely cheating yourself on experience. So, you know, try to become a free thinker. And we're gonna go over a little bit of tips for that. Okay. How do we lose this free thinking? Because first off, when we're born, we're complete free thinkers. Like kids are complete free thinkers. Like kids say what they gonna say. You know, they picking up information everywhere around them, and they're using it. You know, they use it immediately. You know, over time we lose that ability to gather in information and use it instantly. You know, nowadays we got to go through schools and go through courses and all that because we're older and you know we're trying to hold on to this information and solidify it. But you know, a kid learns something right like that. How many times have you seen a kid hear a song like one or two times and they know the song? You know, or they hear a situation and they just say something that just makes you think like, "Dad, that was deep for real." You know, you can think of the Instagram video with the little girl. She seen the animals in the zoo, and she's just basically like, "That's not right. Like why y'all got the animals in prison?" You know, kids have more free thought without, you know, I would say influence from somebody. They're taking information and they're just deciphering it right there. You know, there's a power in that. You know, there's a like a lack of fear that you know children tend to have. We're saying things like, "Shoot, if you stink, a kid gonna tell you stink." Like kids, some kids are truthful, and like over time, we kind of knock that out of them. You know, we civilize them, and we kind of lose some of that ability, and we lose that ability through many things that we do in life. One of these things is trauma. You know, pain builds a barrier. It literally it builds a barrier. You know, once you feel pain, certain types of pain, mentally, spiritually, physically, you don't want to feel it again. You know, so sometimes you avoid certain things because in your mind it's going to lead to that pain again. So we actually build a barrier in our brain. So it's like, okay, part of the world is cut off to us because we know that's a part of the world that brings pain. So we're not even messing with that. We're not even going into that. And that also leads to fear. Which is another vibration that makes us lose free thought. The unknown creates a real fake situation. Let me repeat that. The unknown creates a real fake situation. When you don't know about something, you create a whole scenario in your mind, in your spirit, and if it's based in fear, you basically create a story, something that doesn't even exist. Like it may be close to what exists, it may be completely off to what exists, but it's a fake situation. But it becomes real to you because it's in your mind. So you made this fake situation, and now it's real in your spirit. So you won't do certain things. You stay away from certain things. This stops you from being a free thinker. Trauma, fear, it kind of go hand in hand. A lot of this, like fear also comes from ignorance. A lack of knowledge and resources limits your thought. If you don't know, you just can't think about it. If you've never experienced it, you can't involve it in your daily life, so you're really not a free thinker. You're captivated to what's in front of you. That's ignorance. That's not, I'm not saying like, we take ignorance like, oh, you call me ignorant. Like no, the real definition of ignorance is not knowing something. If you don't know it's a lake right down the street from you, you're gonna keep going to the other side of town to go on the beach and like see some water. It just, knowing things helps. Like if you want to create a picture but you don't know how to start, you don't have pencils, you don't have paper, you know what I'm saying, you don't know that you need this, you're never going to get there. You know what I'm saying? You want to become a musician, but you don't know the steps to get there because you've never seen it. So like, you have to find that out. This is basically indoctrination. These are things that stop us from being a free thinker. Indoctrination. And indoctrination, that can be like family, politics, religion, stuff like that, stuff that we're taught, even school, stuff that we're taught over and over again, if your religion or something tells you that you're nothing, you know what I'm saying, you're going to kind of believe that. If your religion tells you that, you're God, that you're, you know what I'm saying, that you can do all things, do God, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, you're empowered by that a little bit, but sometimes through some of these religions, people throw some of their other stuff in between the faith system, and it becomes a thing, and they're indoctrinating you. They're indoctrinating you to become another them. The same with politics. It's this thing where you got to be a Republican or a Democrat. That's not real. You're a human being. You're dynamic. That's not real. You can be more than a Democrat and a Republican, or even an independent, or whatever, the green, whatever they have in their political boxes. You can take from all of that to become a whole person. You know what I'm saying? And you can reject all of that to become a whole person. It's indoctrination. You're learning somebody else's ways. Even family, your parents, your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your outward family, the people you grew up with. They might be scared of certain things. They might have certain traumas that led them to certain things that, they taught you them things. You don't even know why you're doing it, but you've been taught somebody else's trauma. So this is stopping you from becoming a free thinker. These are some things that are hard to catch, kind of almost impossible to catch unless, you're willing to open yourself up to the possibility, okay, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? And, I might need to examine myself and examine my surroundings. What is stopping me from being a free thinker? What am I stuck in a religion? You know, am I stuck in some type of faith system? Am I stuck in some type of political party that's stopping me from exploring some other thought? Like if whatever you was doing, if whatever you're doing is stopping you from exploring another realm of thought, it's not good for you. I don't care what it is, whether it's religion, politics, family, or whatever. If it's stopping you from exploring something else, whether that is something else is good or bad, if it's stopping you from even exploring it to know for yourself, bad for you. It's stopping you from growing. You're not a free thinker. You know, if your religion is causing you to not examine other religions, stopping you from growing. If your spirituality is stopping you from, you know, researching other thought systems, it's not helping you grow. I'm sorry, it's not. You know, how do we become a free thinker? Well, we got to go against some things we just talked about. You know, first, trauma. You know, you have to face your trauma. You have to face it and accept that it affects you. You know, and I know that people like this face your trauma. I can just do that. Oh, why do we need psychologists and all this? No, it's there's a mental thing where you have to know that you're traumatized. You know, we can all accept and know that we're traumatized. You know, we have to just get past our ego. You know, past our, you know, our trauma. Like we have to face it to get past it. You know, accept that you're traumatized. That's the first part. You know, accept that you're traumatized. Accept that things hurt. You know, sometimes we get in our spiritual settings, and you know, we try to act like things don't affect us. You know, and inside is tearing us up. You know, trauma affects everybody. You know, losing people, losing friends, just going through certain situations, the bills, you know, keeping up with life, you know, money stuff, like a lot of trauma, like shoot, living in certain neighborhoods where it's shootouts and stuff all the time. That stuff is real. You have to accept that that's real, and you have to like get out, talk to somebody, talk about it, get it out your system, put it out in the world. Like, okay, I'm traumatized. Like, now what do I do? You know what I'm saying? How do people face trauma? You know, and that's where it comes to getting away from your indoctrination, because there's different faith systems, different philosophical systems that deal with trauma in different ways, and you can pick from certain easy different ways to help you deal with your trauma. Ways like meditation, you know what I'm saying, prayer, you know, stuff like sound healing, you know, Reiki, energy healing, getting into like totems, like stuff like that works. Like putting your energy into like certain stuff to just like make you focus on dealing with it, deal with your trauma, you know, and deal with it, you know, within yourself. Don't try not to put it off on other people, even though if it's on you, it's affecting other people. That's just reality. You know, fear. Deal with your fear. Fear is all in your mind. There's like fear is you creating a situation. Is your mind creating a scenario to keep you from going into something. Certain levels of fear are, you know, healthy. You know that jumping, you should have a healthy fear of jumping off a 200-foot cliff. You know it's going to kill you. You know, like you should have a healthy fear that jumping in front of a car is going to, you know, tear you up. Now those are healthy fears. Now the fear I'm talking about is like fear of experience. You know, and this can go back to that indoctrination. Certain indoctrination can stop you from doing certain things in spiritual walk, certain things like out of body experiences, like deep meditation, you know, to the point where, you know, you're seeing like stuff like that. That's a whole nother discussion, you know, being able to speak to spirits and stuff through deep meditation. Like we all have that ability, you know, it's just that certain systems have taken us out of that. And it's like, you can't, for a lot of us, we won't believe it until we try it and it works for us. You know what I'm saying? Or it pops us in the face. You know, you have to gain new experiences. That's the only way to get away from fear. You know, fear of heights. You got to get on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like shoot, fear of nature, you got to go out on an excursion. You have to face your fear. That's through psychology, that's through spiritualism, anything. You have to face it. And you might not have to face it directly, but just like gaining so many new experiences, you're not going to have time to think about your fears. You're not going to have time to think about your fears when you out kicking it, like gaining new experiences. You just not going to have time to fear things. Get away from the fear. Take a trip. You don't have to take a trip on the plane. Get somebody. If you don't have a car, get somebody with a car. Y'all get a car. Do a 1 tank trip. Go out to some waterfall somewhere. Go out to a park that you ain't been to. Just go breathe in the air. Just like experience something new. Find something in your neighborhood that you haven't experienced. We go to a little water park, just anything, just find different experiences. Go on Eventbrite, find some events to go attend. Just do something, gain new experience, and that thing that you've been wanting to do, that you've been procrastinating on doing, do that shit. Like, do it. Like you making that situation in your head, like, and the more you keep it in your head, the more powerful it's going to be. It's going to become a reality. It's going to become a reality. Remember, fear is the unknown. You creating a real situation out of a fake situation. That's what fear is. Or of an unknown situation. Ignorance. The only way to get rid of ignorance is to learn. We can go back to indoctrination again. If your system stops you from reading or learning about any other system or any other knowledge, is not good for you. You have to learn. That's the only way to get rid of ignorance. You don't like Christianity, you still gonna have to learn about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't like spirituality, sometimes you still got to learn about it. You have to learn about other people, where they're coming from. Especially if you're out here trying to heal people, or be in some type of ministry. You have to know people. Like just coming, just spitting what you just know from your circle or your pocket will not get you far at all. It's just gonna make people look at you funny. I've been there. Like I jumped into Christianity, became a minister like very quick, was ordained, everything, and I was so excited that I just went out to like tell everybody about it. But people was hitting me with their knowledge from their circles, and it was just tearing me up. I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to this, so it just left me in kind of like a depression, and like I was just stuck in like a just a point where I couldn't grow, or I just didn't know where I was at. And it took me a while to get out of that. Only way I got out of it was to read, to learn. Go to other people, learn their experiences. Compare your experiences with them. And make sure they're good people that's willing to share and not just like judge you, because a person judging you while you sharing experiences can be very detrimental to your energy. They're always cutting you off to like question what you're doing, question your experience. Like sometimes you just need people that's willing to listen and add to, what I'm saying, instead of questioning you. We question each other too much. We can debate stuff, a healthy debate, but sometimes we question each other too much, instead of just like, okay, feeling the energy of that situation, or feeling what somebody is really trying to say. And that comes from indoctrination. And going deep into indoctrination, secure or destroy your religion or your system. You have to secure or destroy your religion or your system. And by that, I mean, if you're questioning certain things in your faith, and you can't come to an answer, you have to move on. You have to move on. If there's certain things in your religion that like, okay, this doesn't make sense. How do I make this make sense? Where does these stories come from? Is there anything before this? you know what I'm saying, that kind of had these same stories? Is there anything that kind of from this system from around me that kind of will enhance this, you know, or does the information or knowledge from around the area or around before that, does it destroy my religion? Does it put my religion at the point where like one of these have to be true, both can't be true? If it's like that, you have to find a middle ground. You have to find you can't sit there with some pet knowledge like, okay, I like this knowledge. It's been with me for a long time, but this stuff that my soul is kind of telling me is like, this is true and it's older, is kind of going against my pet knowledge, the knowledge I've had for all this time. Is it just me kind of fighting it because I'm used to this and I'm scared? Is it fear that's stopping me from going to this other knowledge? Is it just ignorance? Just because I don't know it? Like, okay, I don't know it, so it's scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, or not even scary. It just kind of brings some anxiety to me, like, because this gonna make me look at my pastor funny. You know, it's gonna make me look at my priest funny. Like, you can't think about all of that when it comes to like your spiritual journey. You know, with God or the universe, with nature, whatever you're doing, you can't base your faith on somebody else's interpretation. You have to get as much information as you can and get, you know, build yourself up where you can get a solid interpretation of it. You know, all you can do is get people that's good mentors that'll help you out on that journey. But you just can't, okay, you just can't find your first part of religion. It's like, okay, this feel good. I'm in a good space, you know, with a couple people and we just partying. That's not gonna help your soul in the end. You know, that's not gonna help you grow spiritually and mentally. You know, destroy your religion. You know, or secure it. You know, just don't be indoctrinated. Secure or destroy it. Um, and that's how you become a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of your indoctrination or solidify. Get rid of your fear. Jump into it. Accept that you traumatized. Face your trauma. Get around others who've been through some of the same trauma, and you know, communicate with each other. Help heal each other. Go to some healers. You know what I'm saying? Have a pastor pray for you. Have a shaman do a ceremony for you. Go through your own ceremony. Create your own ceremonies. Create your own, you know, path to peace. Grow a garden. Go sit and meditate in that mug every morning. Get into some breathing exercises. You know, like grow. This is how we grow. You know, there's no other way. You have to find your own ritual, and if somebody else's ritual aligns with that, align with them. You know what I'm saying? Even if they ritual don't align with you, just like, you know, take what you can from them and give what you can to them. That's how we gonna grow. That's how you become a free thinker, and that's how you attract other free thinkers. Because if you're a free thinker, the universe gonna tend to throw some other free thinkers at you. And it tend to be hard for free thinkers sometimes because it's like you notice everything, you know, and that's traumatic itself. But that's where we elevate through thought, through meditation, and all that to be able to deal with it, you know. And let's say I want to go over a historical thinker, free thinker, and then I'm out of here. I don't want to, you know, we don't want to keep our people for too long because, you know, our attention spans, man, like we got to get better with that. But, you know, I already know it's a lot of stuff going on in the universe. So I'm going to respect y'all time. But I wanted to talk about Plato, who was a historical free thinker. You know, more off, well, really, you know, anybody who know about Plato, you know, he classical philosopher. But there's one of his philosophies, Plato's Cave. And this goes out to like anybody who's going through it, like when you on the path and you trying to talk to people and trying to get people on your path and all this kind of reads to that. The Plato's Cave is four people sitting in a cave observing shadows. They've been in this cave all their life. That's all they know. All they know is these shadows, and these shadows, they're coming from the outside, from an outside reality. You know, their reality is this shadow, and they've learned traditions off of these shadows. They've named the shadows, they've created stories from these shadows. This is their whole reality, this shadow. Okay, so one day, one of these people was set free. They're chosen to be set free, but he looks the other way, and the other way is just too bright. It's too bright, so he's like, I don't know what that is. Like, fear sets in. And, he looks back to his shadows, like, I can see them clearly. I can see my shadows clearly. I can see this reality very clearly. But basically has to get dragged out, which can be comparison to people being chosen in, the spiritual world. He basically gets dragged out. And he gets dragged outside. And while he's outside, it takes a while for him to be able to focus because everything is too bright. It's uncomfortable. He has to go through this stage of growth. He's just uncomfortable. It's burning his eyes. He just, until like it sets in. His eyes focus in. He gets the clarity of what's around him. He sees all the beautiful flowers, the beautiful trees, all of the animals. He hears the animals sing and all the great things of the outside world, all of nature, and he begins to rejoice, because he realized, like, okay, the shadow world, what like this is what the shadows were. The shadows were just images of the real stuff that was out here. And they created their own world like this, but now he's experiencing the real stuff while his people are still in the shadows. And he thinks about that. He thinks about it. He thinks about it hard. Like man, I like how we do. I gotta go free my people, man. I gotta tell them this good news. Like I gotta get them out to the darkness. I gotta pull them out the darkness. I have to pull my people out of this darkness. And he returns to the cave, but he can no longer see in his cave. His eyes have adjusted to the light. So now in the darkness, all he sees is darkness. He can't really see his way around. He can't. The shadows no longer are crisp. Shadows are blurry, and this whole world, this whole reality is just darkness. It's just like, and he goes in and tries to tell them about the light, but since they never experienced it, they don't know what he's talking about. So they basically rejecting, like no, like we don't want this. Like you're crazy. You're crazy, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like we're down here worshiping our shadows. We've even created leadership and created, we have created leaders and gave rewards to each other on who could, name the shadows the best. Who could work in this shadow world the best. And the guy, the one who was in the light, he just like, no, this ain't real, man. This ain't real. Come to y'all just seeing shadows of what's real. Come on. And they rejecting, even basically telling him, like, bro, like, leave us alone or we gonna kill you. Like get the hell out of here or we gonna kill you. And anybody who in the spiritual world, I know you probably came across that. I literally had people talking about they gonna kill me just because I, promote peace and talk about spirituality, and they want to push their religions or whatever on me, It's like I'm good with your religion, but I'm good with me right now. I'm good where I'm at, And they threaten him with death, and they want to put him to death for him attempting to free him. So he has to leave, you know, go back to the world. And basically, like the thing about that, you know, where he was getting to is like he actually says, the task of the enlightened is to be willing to descend into the cave of darkness to rescue the people. You know, basically saying like to go save our people, to go save the people, it's gonna take stuff we don't want to do. It's gonna take being uncomfortable. It's gonna take being a free thinker because our people aren't free thinkers. They don't have the knowledge of some of this stuff. They've been traumatized to stick in their bubbles, like, and they are willing to kill you to stay in that bubble. But us as a people, we're people who rely on each other. So we have to take that risk to save our people. We have to risk, you know, making them hate us, you know what I'm saying, temporarily, and you know, making them shun us to speak the truth, you know, to speak love, to spread love. Like we really have to be the people. If we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. That's just life. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. You can't expect somebody else to just do it, and it's going to be a hard road being a free thinker. Just think about history. Think of like Martin Luther King. Think about Malcolm X. Think about Marcus Garvey. Think about all these free thinkers who just went through hell, who had their own people turning on them. You know what I'm saying? Why they're trying to save them people? You know, think about like Harriet Tubman and all that. You know where she had to pull a pistol out on other people to save other people, man. And it's just like it's gonna be a hard, man, but we can't give up on saving our people. It just is what it is, you know. And part of that, you know, we must be willing to participate in the traditions of the enslaved to pull them out. I know that sounds crazy, but you got to be willing to party with the people enslaved in these boxes to pull them out. You know what I'm saying? If you just in the heavens all the time, if you just in the sky all the time, if you just in prayer all the time, if you just in the churches all the time, ain't nobody listening to you. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody listening to you, flat out. If you not going out living with people, if you not living, you know, in society, people are not listening to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just in the ivory tower speaking to yourself, speaking to the spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, which there's enlightenment in that, but like, in order to get to the people, you got to be willing to come down and be with people. You know what I'm saying? Build with people. You know what I'm saying? Argue with people. You know what I'm saying? To get them out this bullshit so that we can grow. You know, and like to end off with this, like basically the gist of all of this, you know, is in order to be a true free thinker, one must separate. You got to separate from stuff first. First, separate, learn yourself, grow within yourself, and you got to learn. And that's how you're going to grow. You got to learn, pick up a book, get a mentor, get involved with life, see what people are doing in life, and then come back in, engage with your community, engage with your family, engage with people. You know what I'm saying? Tell them what you learned, even if they hate it. Tell them what you learned. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Socrates, Plato's teacher, he was put to death for teaching people to be knowledgeable, but teaching people to honor wisdom. He was put to death for that. You know what I'm saying? You go all throughout history. You know, Martin Luther King, he was killed for promoting peace and equality. You know what I'm saying? Like Malcolm X was killed for telling people to stop freaking killing black people, stop, you know what I'm saying, abusing black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Unify. People kill people for that, man. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because it's powers that we don't see that we fighting against. You know what I'm saying? Freeing somebody from their ignorance is the most wonderful feeling in existence, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, might go through all that, but once you see somebody free from their bondage, man, there's no other feeling like that on the planet. I promise. You know what I'm saying? Like, we I can go into so much more. I'm probably gonna cut it short. I'm like I wanted to go through so much more. Like I know we've been on here for a minute. I don't want to keep you off for too long, but I guess we go through this last little thing, and I'm gonna run through it. You know, you know, we have to free people, be free thinkers. You know, the thing is, like, we live in the shadow world. You know what I'm saying? Our world is a reflection, or you know what I'm saying, say a shadow of another reality. You know, and we this like it's a more perfect form. You know what I'm saying? A more elevated form, a higher form than us. And you know what I'm saying? We learn to get to this form through knowledge, through living life, you know what I'm saying, through meditation, you know what I'm saying, through plant medicines, uh, through nature, just getting out in nature. There's something about getting up on a mountain. There's something about getting into a forest, getting into some woods. It changes your whole being. It brings a peace to you. It's something about being in the ocean water, the lake water. It it, it neutralizes your body back into the earth, you know what I'm saying, back into nature. You know, do it. Like meditate, get into all this, you know. And we're gonna shoot over these lessons from Plato real quick. These some lessons from Plato, and I kind of intertwined them with myself. You know, number one, conquer yourself. You know, the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. That's a quote from Plato, and this goes to where you have to conquer your passions. You know, for most of us, that is sexual passions, violent passions, you know, stuff like jealousy. That's stuff that we really have to conquer. If you think about it, that's where most of your problems come at in life. Think about a relationship. You know, you get conquered by your passion. Went out and cheated, banged up a couple ladies, and now your family toe up, your relationship toe up, stuff like that. You know, there's consequences to not conquering yourself. To where when you go in a situation, measure the situation whether it's good for you or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just jump into stuff. Always measure all your situations. You know, and that's a good way to conquer yourself. Don't work for money, make money work for you. All that stuff, that's part of conquering yourself. You know. Learn to control your passions. Learn to control your hunger, your sexuality. Learn how to control, your anger, stuff like that. Control your anger. If you can just think about it. If you can do something about it, if you can do something about a situation, you need to be doing something about it. There's no reason to be angry. If you can't do nothing about it, you can't do nothing about it. There's no reason to be angry. All you can do is accept it and move on and add that situation to your knowledge base. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about it. That's anger is a waste of emotion. It's a waste of energy. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can do something about it, you need to be doing it. If you're not doing it and you can do something about it, you're doing that to yourself. You making another imaginary situation. So get out your anger and do something about it, or accept that you can't do nothing about it and move on. Choose your circle wisely. Bad people will rub off on you. Bad people will rub off their bad habits, their bad spirits, their bad vibrations. It will rub off on you. You can't do nothing about it unless you're actively fighting against that. Productive people, on the other hand, will enhance your life. People who are productive in spirituality, mentally, with knowledge, making money. Like, get around these people who are doing good, people who are making, being creative, people who are doing good in life. Get around those people. It's going to rub off on you. It's going to rub off on you. There's no way it can't be. So choose your circle wisely. I was once told, your circle, your main circle, because we got many circles in our life. Your main circle should be you should be surrounded by people who are smarter than you at something. You know what I'm saying? Don't surround yourself with a bunch of dummies. You can put yourself around a bunch of happy dummies and kind of still be messed up. Put yourself around people who know more than you in certain situations. And think about your circle. Family, jobs, friends, any relationships you got. You're not obligated to anybody. I'm sorry. You're not obligated to anybody. You know, you can leave a situation if it's not good for you. If the situation is good for you, there's nothing in life that says you have to stick with that situation. You know, and that's with family, that's with, you know, relationships, that's with jobs. If your boss is an asshole, you don't have to stick at that job. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little hard for a minute to get that other job, but you don't have to stick at that job. You still have the choice to leave. You know, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? You might have to go through some hard stuff, but it's your choice whether you stick in that or whether you leave. You know, you're not obligated to any situation or anybody. You know, if you need to leave to protect your spirit, to protect yourself, do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how long you've been with that person, how long you how long it is, like if it's destroying your spirit, your soul, you know what I'm saying? You have to separate yourself from that situation. And you know, y'all may come back across each other or anything, you know, but you have to protect your energy at all costs. Find your other half, you know, find your spirit person, you know, like, and this ain't even just like, you know, romantic relationships. Find people that you feel good around, people that you don't have to explain yourself to, you know, people that you have to explain yourself to are the worst people to be around on the planet. I'm sorry. It just is. They drain your energy. Like, be around people that you know that are in you know, emphatic to the stuff that you going through, you know, people that feed your energy, you know, like make sure you're around these people. Those are your spirit beings, you know what I'm saying? Like people who vibing on the same vibe. Find those people and get them people the majority of your energy because they're gonna return it. You know, these other people complete our spiritual spectrum. You know, we're not solo beings. I'm sorry, we're not. Like a human can't reach their spiritual highness without other people because we're networked people. We're crowded people. We need each other to live. You know, we're group people. Like, you know, just going in the mountains for the rest of your life, that's not gonna be your best life. You know, you need to get around people that you can love, that you can build with, that you can, you know, bounce your knowledge off of, that y'all can, you know, all that stuff. That's how you're going to become your best self. You know, the best free thinker you can be. Get involved in politics. I know I hate politics. I hate them, but you need to know what's going on in the world. You know, you need to find a cause to fight for. You know, you know, even within your own community. Like this don't never necessarily have to be the politicians, but like in your own community, put the right people in power. You know, put that spirit, put y'all resources behind that spiritual person or that creative person that's building stuff. You know, put your resources behind that. Build your own community. You know, get involved. That's politics. We can do our own politics, and you know we still got to be involved in their cricket politics. You know, to make sure they don't go too far off the deep end, but they pretty much off that deep end. We because we know the voting system is messed up. You know, uneducated people making decisions for everybody. That's pretty much what it is. That's not a good way to put leadership ahead because usually when you got uneducated people making those decisions, they usually vote on the most beautiful person or the best speaker. You know, it doesn't have anything to do about, you know, what they can do for you, who they are, or anything like that. It's about, you know, how they look, you know, how they display themselves. That's the easiest way to fuck shit up. You know, when you doing voting within your own community with your own people, building your community, you know, find your most educated people, find your most involved people, and give them the decision making power. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna put more thought in it, and they're gonna put the energy in it to make sure that the right decisions are being made. You know, the real politics, we far from that, and it's hard to even do that, but we can do that within our own communities. We can make leaders for our streets, you know what I'm saying? And they will have political power, believe me, you know, and learn to follow before you lead, you know, destroy your pride, you know, be a leader and not a boss, you know, destroy your pride. Be willing to work at the lowest part of any field you at. You know what I'm saying? If you looking down at anybody because of what they work, how they work, what they doing, you fried. You know what I'm saying? Like you not fit to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have respect for the janitor, you know what I'm saying, you should never be the CEO because you're going to be a horrible CEO. Be a leader, not a boss. Show people how to do it. Lead. Don't just be telling people what to do. Lead your community. If you're going to be a leader, lead. Don't be just telling people what to do. Be willing to do it and be content. Anything beyond the basics is extra. Be content with what you got. As long as you got something to eat, roof over your head, some good people to chill with, you rich as fuck. You rich as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You are rich in life. You might be going through some other stuff, but you rich as hell in life. Money don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? It's something imaginary we made up, and now we suffering because we made that imaginary shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see it from the rates of rich people, the rates at which they commit suicide is very high. It's very, very, very high. The rate at which rich people commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? Because, Biggie said it, more money, more problems. Money doesn't bring you happiness. You know what I'm saying? It can make you, it can buy you happy moments, but if you're not happy or got joy inside, it's not going to mean nothing. It's not going to get you past your depression or any of that. You know, Also, you got to fight jealousy, fight jealousy, fight jealousy, man. Stop wanting shit. Like, you don't need that shit. Like, use money to make friends, use money to enjoy life. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses don't exist. The Jones is trying to keep up with the Jameses, and the James is trying to keep up with the Jacksons, and the Jacksons trying to, and it's gonna keep going on. That's not a way to happiness. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be happy. Take charge of your happiness. Take charge of your happiness. Don't plan for happiness. Just be happy. You know what I'm saying? Don't plan like, okay, once I go to school, once I get my kids together, once I do this, and once I get this job, and once I start doing this, once I get in my hobby, once I build my garden, once I get a car, once I get in a relationship, I'm gonna finally be happy. No, you're not. Don't plan on be happy right now. Look around your room right now, look around your house right now, and think of something to be happy about. You know what I'm saying? What did you just eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you just have a meal? You know what I'm saying? Think about the person that didn't have that. Like, find something to have joy in. Look at something you created. You know what I'm saying? Look at one of your family members, your husband, your wife, your kids, somebody, and just be happy with them, man. Find happiness in that moment, man. You are what makes you happy and sad. There's nothing outside of you that can take your happiness. All your happiness is gone because you choose not to be happy. I know that sounds simplified and all that, but it's the truth. You're not happy because you choose not to be happy. You're planning on being happy sometime in the future once you accomplish this, and this. That's not happiness. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. That's a real song. You know what I'm saying? Take note of these things that make you happy. Literally, literally. Go around your house, take note, write it down of the things that make you happy. Write the foods that make you happy. Write the activities like drawing, painting, any art, singing, listening to music. Write down these things that make you happy. Going out in the park, taking a walk, any of these things. Take note of the things that make you happy. And once you start taking note of these things, make sure you put it in your schedule to do these things. Do them on a constant basis. Make sure you're intentionally doing these things that make you happy, because we know as people, we can get lazy and just zone out. And you know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing we can do, because we're not doing the things that make us happy and we're just neutral. So take note of the things that are making you happy, and you can even put an emphasis on them, put a number system on them of the things that make you happy is. You know what I'm saying? And the things that give you some joy and the things that make you happiest. And measure your energy of what you're putting into them. You know what I'm saying? And work hard at getting at those things. Make one of these things your hobby. Make one of these things your job. You know what I'm saying? If you like art, start selling some of your art. You know what I'm saying? Just accomplish something. And work hard at accomplishing. If you're not accomplishing nothing, you're not going to be happy. If you're just sitting around all day, every day, and you probably got a job and that's all you do, you're not going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? You have to accomplish something that's going to mean something to you in your life. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I just made this. Shoot, I ain't did no sculpting or nothing in a minute. But I'm like, I did my Jaguar and all that. It's probably a little amateur right now, but you know, I wanted to do it, so I did it. You know, if you want to do it, do it. Challenge yourself for the challenge and not the goal. You know what I'm saying? We get so much caught up looking at a goal that we don't enjoy the journey of life. You know what I'm saying? We don't enjoy every day. You know, it just becomes a routine. And when you get in the routine, you're not enjoying it. You just basically on autopilot. You know, get to the point where you challenging yourself for the challenge, for the experience of getting something accomplished. That's where you're gonna find your joy. Your joy is not in the goal. Sometimes once I'm finished, I'm kind of sad. If you look at like any interview where like people get done with a movie and they getting to wrap up, it's like they sad now, during the movie while they filming, everybody dancing, chilling with each other, everybody on each other's social media, everybody pumped up, you know what I'm saying? The camaraderie is just so deep. But once the movie ends, it's like everybody's sad, like almost like a funeral. Where it's like, you would think you'll be happy from finishing it, but the thing is you have to enjoy the journey itself, the challenge itself. The goal doesn't mean anything if you're not enjoying the challenge, if you're not enjoying the journey. Working for money leads to a loop of sorrow. Working for a job leads to a loop of sorrow, you know what I'm saying? Doing the 9 to 5, working for the American dream, it's going to lead you in a loop of sorrow that you'll never escape. You know, you can never do enough of a 9 to 5. You're going to get raises, but then your lifestyle going to grow and your level of living is going to cost more. So you're going to stay stuck in that level. I know people who make $30, $40 an hour and they broke. You know what I'm saying? They broker than people who make, $10, $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because they're caught in that loop. Don't get caught in that loop. You know what I'm saying? Work hard for a reason. Be content with what you get. Fight that jealousy. Fuck the Joneses and who keeping up with the Jacksons, who keeping up with the other Joneses. Rich people commit suicide too. Take charge of your happiness. Be happy right now. Don't look for something to be happy. Be happy right now. That's your choice. And take note of the things that make you most happiest and put your energy in that. Learn how to follow, and be able to lead. Don't be too high to do any position. You have to be willing to be a worker before you're able to get somebody else to work for you. You know, get involved in your neighborhood, your community, get involved with politics, make leadership within your own community. Find your soul people, find your soul brothers, your soul sisters that you're gonna work with, that you're gonna grind with, who feed you energy. And while you're doing this, control your anger, conquer yourself, control your urges and all this, and you're gonna be so much better. Being a free thinker is the ultimate level of life. You can't get any higher than being a free thinker. Once you reach that level, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else matters. Miss Ovetta, Miss Ovetta, hey, what's going on? Yeah, man, we just tell them, man, like we really have to be useful, man. Being a free thinker, man. Oh yeah. Also, man, get y'all something to do, man. Get y'all some healing stuff, some meditative stuff, something that calms your soul, man. Sound bowl, some art, some pottery, draw, man. Get some incense, burn something that smells good. Get some good smelling oils, aromatherapy. Take a long salt bath, man. There's just so much stuff we can do to level out, to control our urges, to control ourselves. Just get into that practice and we're gonna be so much better. And that's all I got because we working on an hour. I think this was an amazing episode. Like look out, I'm also working on a book right now, which kind of go over a lot of stuff we went through in some of these episodes and a lot of stuff in my shamanic journeys, spirit walking. I'm gonna go deep into that. Some of that stuff I'm not gonna go on here because it's for a more attentive audience. We do got some. We are working on bringing some ceremonies to some folks. Some healing ceremonies with some plant medicine, some sound healing, meditation, Reiki healers, uh, shoot, even physical massage therapists. Working on the physical, mental, and spiritual. We stay tuned for that event. Message me if you want to be part of it. That'll be coming up very soon. We're just looking for a location that everybody can be comfortable and we can get so much accomplished. So with that, I say peace, vibe greater. It's your boy Kukiwa Bahlam, aka Savage Soliloquy, and I'm out.